Yeah. Testing.
Testing.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I can see I can see it's picking up. I see
Lord, I can hear
testing,
myself.
testing. Hello, hello,
Okay, okay,
hello.
okay, 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 okay. Hello, hello. Welcome to Mad Alaska podcast. We're here with one of our greatest singer when we start talking about music in Anchorage, Alaska, or Alaska in general, and various other places in the world, not only Alaska. But she's been representing Alaska, and when it comes to singing with those type of singing, when you like, yeah, you open your eyes like that. This lady qualifies very much for that department. It's no other but Dan McClain. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Oh man, it's great. I'm feeling very good today because today I've been interviewing people of importance in the music scene, not only from the hip hop, but I want to hear about R&B because we do not hear much about R&B over here. So I said,
True.
who can we think of bringing here than the queen of the R&B music, the OG queen of the R&B music? How you doing? You doing great?
I'm doing great. I
Hmm,
can't complain.
hmm.
Happy to be alive.
That's great. That's great.
Yes.
You know, you guys are we are in the same world, top civilian. We don't embark into the other
Right.
madness. You know. So
True.
what's take us a little bit back so we can understand the history of Dan McLean. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, Dawn McClain.
Okay. Take us a little bit back so we can understand the history of Dan McLean.
See what history you want to know.
Are you originally from Alaska?
No, but I came here in '94. I was in the United States Air Force, so that's how I wind up here. And then my brother was my dependent, and then I sent for my mom to come celebrate our birthday because we have the same birthday month.
Hmm.
And then she never left. She liked it. She said she wanted to retire, so she told my dad, and so he sold the house to come up. And then my sister,
Wow.
she found out that they were leaving, so the whole family was here by '97, and then I got out and moved to Atlanta in
Wow. So
'98.
they just came here. It wasn't supposed to be a stay. But
Yep,
you're like,
boom.
it's cold out here. Ain't nothing really bothering me. The weather is out here. The air smells good. We're gonna stay here.
Yeah, they liked it, and then I moved to Atlanta, and while out there, it's when I started um, really pursuing more because at the time Atlanta was the mecca of black music.
Hmm.
You know, I'm from Los Angeles originally, but
California.
mhm. So went to Atlanta and started making a name for myself,
Hmm.
and yeah, I still have a fan base out that way.
So starting, was you always doing music before the? You said Air Force, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Air Force originally, you joined the Air Force after coming here, or
No,
they stationed
before
you?
I got stationed here, I joined the Air Force,
Okay, okay.
and
And
I started singing at 5,
hmm,
and then of course I sing in church, and then I started writing as a teenager, and then getting in singing competitions, and I joined the Air Force to pay for my studio time.
what?
Yeah,
You joined the Air Force just to pay your studio time.
I
That's
was
how
like,
much dedicated you was to your music.
yeah, I didn't want to go to college, so I decided I felt I was too immature to go to college at the time. So
When you say immature, what do you mean?
I I wasn't focused on my education
Hmm,
as much as I was music, and I wanted to go into the career my career path head on.
hmm,
And then so I figured I had time while in the Air Force to grow up, experience adulthood, and make a check. I get paid twice a month. I can go to the studio. So while
Hmm,
I was in Texas, I did a lot of studio time and writing. And then when I came here,
hmm.
I started doing commercials and stuff. And yeah,
Commercials.
yeah.
So join the military to pay for your studio time.
hmm
So before even joining that, how was music for you? How did you come about choosing the route of music?
Um, when I was 5, I was noticed by the teacher in the back of the classroom singing. So that's how I got my first taste of being on a stage.
Hmm.
So I got to sing somewhere over the rainbow
Okay.
for something in kindergarten, and seeing how the audience liked it. I think that's when I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Just
At
sing for
5 years old.
people at 5. I was like, I want to sing in front of people and make people happy. And so then I started. I was always, if someone said I couldn't do something, I wanted to prove them wrong.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way
You
too.
know, so in church, you're like, oh, you too young to be, we can't, the adult choir can't get this song. And so I would teach the children's choir the song with
Hmm.
harmony, and we would come in and do the song that the adult choir couldn't do. So I started off directing choirs, and um,
Hold on, you was doing stuff that the adult choir couldn't do.
oh yeah, yep, they weren't getting theirs together.
Wow.
Kids are very pliable, you know.
Hmm.
So if they like the song, um, it started off with this song by this girl named Christian artist named Deleon, and she had this song. Let your love light shine on me. Let your love light shine on me. And it had like different little harmonies and
Hmm.
counter verses, and so I taught the children's choir that, and there was another song about silver and gold that I taught them.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Then I started directing both adult and children's choir. I
In the
tormented my brother, sister, and mom. I made them in my little gospel singing group.
what?
I would teach them their parts and make them sing in
Oh, so
harmony.
you got them to become your students?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
Make them sing in parts. So we would go to different little churches and get to sing.
that sounds awesome. Was that in Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Now take us from there. You said take us right before you joined the military.
When I did high school competitions, and then I got to start going to the studio. I started off singing like hooks for rap artists,
Mhm.
and then I would write my own, write the hook, and um, they were impressed with how, because I was a perfectionist, so I wanted to get in there and nail it in one take. Well, I would get frustrated if I couldn't,
Okay.
but yeah, I started doing that and getting paid for it. So that was when I was 18. So that's when
Hmm.
I officially became professional.
When you was 18. Hmm.
Hmm
That's early on too.
Yeah,
So you started doing that and then you decided to join the
the military.
military.
Yeah,
What tell us what was your last straw? Like, you know what? I'm just gonna go join the military. What was it for you?
um, I moved to Utah, to Ogden, Utah, for a little while, and I was working. So I started working like when I was 16. My senior year of high school, I only had to go to school for PE because I had all my credits
What?
except for
So
one
you was a
elective
smart kid, huh?
when I applied myself. And so I learned in 10th grade, I need to get out of here. So I got to apply myself. And that's when I started doing that. But anyhow, I worked 2 jobs. And then I started, like I said, I would drive back and forth out there to record. And last straw was I, I didn't want adults telling me what I could and could not do, you know. So
Hmm.
they wanted, I felt like I was being, they were trying to
Vice.
control me.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm getting out of this town, join the military.
So you just
Get a check.
went ahead
Yep, I joined.
and you found yourself in Alaska.
My second duty station was here. Yeah, they gave me what they call the Texas tour.
Okay.
So in the Air Force, all of our basic training is at Lackland, and then I went from there to Wichita Falls, Texas for tech school, and I sang while I was out there, and then I got stationed back in San Antonio at Wilford Hall, and I sang while I was while I was there. Like people, I started being getting known as the singing airman.
Hmm.
Um, Whenever they had something that they needed to impress or something, I would get called to do stuff like the national anthem or
Oh, wow. That-
represent
That's the grand starting
my
right there.
command. Yeah, it was fun.
Hmm.
And then I got here. Texas was too hot, so they said send her back to Alaska. So
Well, you ain't gonna complain about the heat over
yeah,
here.
no,
It is cold. So you got to Alaska. Miss thinking, did you think coming to Alaska you'll be able to make music like yours?
no. Um, when I came, I was here from '96 to '98. So
Hmm.
a lot of what you see around Alaska now was not there. Like, for instance, Lake Otis, once you got to Dowling, it was like maybe two street lights, or if it got dark, it was dark.
Wow.
Dowling dead ended. It didn't Elmore wasn't there yet.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, the main thing I knew was Lake Otis and Northern Lights.
Wow, that's
So, but I started doing commercials when I got here. Of course, I was at church, Base Chapel, um, singing on the praise team, and then somebody else heard me, so I got to do little jingles, and
hmm.
yeah, I still got to do my music. I learned a lot. Then I got out, I moved to Atlanta, and I learned, you know, even more about the music industry. That's when I really got to learn about the music industry and writing and how to get paid and performing and doing background vocals.
Hmm. So that the commercial part, would you was you singing in the commercials too?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
We did the jingles for like the local car dealerships, and at the time Robert Hartwell, he was our chief master sergeant, Sergeant Hartwell at the time.
Hmm.
He was minister of music at Shiloh, and
Okay.
so yeah, and so he heard me, and I was included with the group to sing for some of the commercials they got hired to do.
Hmm. Was those would you say those were was those like really good gigs
Yeah, it was something I hadn't
for
gotten
back
to
then?
do yet. Yeah, I hadn't gotten to do stuff like that
That
yet.
must feel very exciting to like, yeah, I can hear myself on TV.
Yeah,
How did you feel at that time?
like my plan was working. I was
Hmm.
still, I was in the
You feel
military. I
like
was
this
paying
is
for
it.
studio time and
Hmm.
getting more experience with my music.
I guess though, how was the balance of that?
I didn't think about it. I just did it. I knew I had to be to work from some. Most times I worked 4 days out of the week because I worked the 12-hour shifts,
Hmm.
and so
So you have 3 more days to do your.
one day is sleep, the other 2 days of work.
Wow. So now, who were the people that you met here, and what studio did you get to when you got here?
I don't even think that studio is open anymore that we went to. I don't even remember where it was as far as doing the commercials. But like I said, Robert Hartwell set that up, and
Was it like how it is nowadays? Like, was it studios there and people that were doing music that you know of here?
um, no. So with me being in the military, I didn't know much of what was going on in the city of Anchorage um, at the time. So I don't know if they had any local rap or hip hop or club scene at the
Going on.
time.
Okay. When would you say you got noticed for doing music in Alaska?
When I came back, so I left in '98, and then I came back November 2012. Um, while in Atlanta, I got to be on other people's recordings. I was performing with an opening with other acts
Oh, in Atlanta?
in Atlanta. Yeah. So when I got out of here, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and
Did you
that's where
move
I
to
really did my
do
music.
music over there?
Hmm.
How was that for you?
It was great. I learned a lot. I've had the opportunity to work with some A-listers.
Hmm.
It was great. I also used to be an artist developer for Akon.
What?
Yeah, for a little while.
How did you even get to that position too?
Everything is who you know,
Hmm.
and so I had another um, Leon was one of his artist developers as well. Um, and he's heard me sing. So while in Atlanta, I did a lot with music. I did um, stuff that was sponsored by the radio
Hmm.
station. We had this one residency at the W Hotel every
Wow.
summer, and I was the lead singer for this band, Soul Factor. So we got to do a lot with them. So anyhow, people would come and see me there, and mhm, um, that's how I got noticed. And he
Hmm.
was like, "Hey, he kind of is looking for another artist developer." So basically, he wanted to set up tiers. So what happens a lot of time with labels, when people get signed to a label, you start off as like where they start the development. So at the basement floor, they're developing, they're seeing how you do when you go on stage and perform for other acts.
Oh, so that all that's like what when they're recruiting you to even.
So I got to work with that level, making sure to get them ready for their performances,
Hmm.
and then they would go to the next level, to where, okay, I'm going to sign them, and now we're going to do recording sessions. So I was at the part of making sure they're ready for their stage performances,
Hmm.
and so that was cool for a little while. I just and then moved on from that and continued doing performances.
Was you still making music at that time?
I hadn't started recording my own project yet.
Okay.
At that time, I was still getting to tour and do background, go out of the country singing. So that part was fun.
Hmm.
And I didn't start recording until 2004, where I did my first project.
Hmm.
Um, and that was fun.
How? What
Um,
was the name?
the first one was the Love Project, Dawm McClain Love Project.
Hmm.
Then I started working with this gentleman um, out of Germany, and
Hmm.
he would send me answer songs for like we did an answer song for Jamie Foxx, Blame It on Alcohol.
Oh wow.
So he would do that. I would record it and then send it back, and then he would get everything to the top DJs out there. And
Oh wow.
yeah,
So
that's when
you
MySpace was popular,
oh wow. Yeah.
right? And so I started getting lots, like over. I had over 10,000 likes on my page.
Wow.
And then one day we went on there and pushed play because we were like, oh, we've got 10,000 likes, and push play. And they had replaced my version with Jamie Foxx's version because, um, we didn't have permission.
Copyright.
Yeah, it was copyright. We were answering, but not till that's when I got my first experience of when you get that them 10,000 likes, all of a sudden folks are looking like, what's happening? But I wrote my own verse to it as an answer. That was fun. That was cool.
Nice. So then you must be feeling like, hold on, right now I can take over the world right now with how you.
It was like, let's get to the next step. I was still in my peaky in the brain mode.
Hmm. So from there, you also said you travel out of the country to make music.
Hmm.
How? Tell us a little bit about that.
um I got to go, like, all of my overseas tours, or whenever I went overseas, wasn't even through the military, it was during my music.
Hmm.
So I've had the privilege of doing background for A and B list artists. Like I've sang background for Roberta Flack,
Hmm.
Little G, open for Erica Badu,
Oh wow.
um, open for Stevie Wonder, So I got to do a lot while I was in Atlanta. Atlanta was my musical boot camp,
Hmm.
and so that was great getting to go to places like Malaysia and Germany and Europe,
Just singing.
Australia, and yeah, just singing.
Huh.
So I did a lot of cover stuff as well. Then I wanted to break out and do my own music. So my first project was the Love Project. Then the second one I self-released was Dance Chronicles. So like what we did, I performed a lot of songs or recorded a lot of songs for the gentleman that I was working with out of Germany, and then we would get different remixes done.
Hmm.
And the top DJs that out there spinning, we would send the acapellas, and they would remix it. So that was cool. Um, and then uh, I had developed ovarian cancer. And so, but after my surgery, I just kept going. So it's like I had surgery on Monday, out the hospital Wednesday, and I was on stage Friday.
What?
Right. And
What
I
are
kept
you?
going. I did
A
that right,
computer?
man, because my focus was on, hey, I got to do it. I got to do it, make it. It was just me and my daughter at the time. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, finally one day I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I have not stopped. And
You just
so
kept the fire going.
kept going for 2 years straight. So I was burnt out. I was like, I do need to rest. And so that's what made me, I was like, if I stay in Atlanta, I'm not going to rest.
You
I'm
just
going to
gonna
continue
keep
to
going.
grind. Yeah. And I was getting known. Like people, when they would come to Atlanta and they wanted to hear live music, you would say, hey, who's the top, person to go see? And my name would be in the top five of people to
Wow, even
go
in
see
Atlanta
perform.
at that time.
Yeah. I was I was grinding, and I got to meet some great people
Wow,
who
that.
helped push my career. It was fun.
So now from Atlanta, you moved back to Alaska.
Yep, and I wasn't gonna do any more music. I was gonna retire from doing music
Hmm.
and get a job. I hadn't worked a job in almost 20 years. Like I hadn't, I was making money doing music. And
I know
so
you also did sing on the cruise.
yeah, I didn't do that till I moved here. Till I was here for, oh gosh, 8 years. But I didn't know, so like I said, I self-released 2 albums,
Hmm.
and I was starting on my third album, which was I was going to call it State of Emotion,
Hmm.
but then after my bout with cancer, I changed the title to Life is Beautiful. And I wasn't completely done with the project yet. I had a lot of the songs done, but I was still messing around. And
Hmm.
when I got here, I found out that they were playing my music on some of the local radio stations
Wow.
and like the podcast stations they had here.
Yes.
Shout
Okay.
out to Allie at the time, Allie and Sarah Bossy. Um,
I know that name. I
mhm.
know that name. He was making music with the Unbreakables at some time.
Yep. I started. That's how I started here. So in Atlanta, I did mainly R&B and soul. Here, this is a hip hop city and state. Um, so like I
Okay.
said, I wasn't going to do anything, and then I found out they were playing my music on the stations here, and
Then you're like,
then
nah, we back on the program.
I was like, oh my gosh. And so then they were bringing B Bad Productions was bringing up Chrisette Michelle. And at the time I was being managed by TJ, and he told them that they needed me to be an opening act. And so I talked with Andrea, and she made me one of the opening acts for it. And that's when everybody saw me.
So at the opening for the big
Opening for
events.
Chrisette Michelle. Now I had
Hmm.
opened for Chrisette Michelle while in Atlanta, so I already knew, you know, but I did my thing, and that's when people like Reggie Ward and Cousin Ash and then were in the audience, and they didn't know. People
Damn,
did not
Coordinates, you're
know,
hot today, man. Everybody mentioning you today, man.
right? And so then uh, I started, getting called to come and sing and stuff like for Unbreakable and
Oh,
all the
Unbreakables.
different little, yeah. So yeah, one of the first I worked with Bossy. I sing on stuff with her. I sing on stuff with Overcomer. And then I did some songs with Unbreakable. I joined this group LME.
Oh, you was part of LME?
Yeah.
That's Block and Tasha.
Tashan, Block Tashan,
Now I
Heat,
know my history, man. People
Loner
think I
Loop.
don't know, but
Yeah.
when I
Well, so then after opening for Chris Ed and all that stuff, and more people started knowing who I was,
hmm,
we had a Hip Hop and R&B award.
hmm.
It was the first one they had in a few years,
Oh,
and they had 7 performances, and I was on 6 of the 7, to include my own performance. So, because I
oh,
had recorded with so many people, and all those people decided
wanted
they
you
wanted
to.
to do the songs that they had
So
recorded
you
with
was
me.
just on. What year was this?
Uh, 20, 2014, 14 or 15.
I think I remember that one.
So
I
went on
remember
stage with LME.
he was everywhere saying this lady, bring her down. It's
Because we
everywhere.
had it at a
Big
Newsack
yes. You know
Library.
they carry it.
Yeah. So that was fun. I got to change clothes. I was doing that. I had dancers, and nobody else. When I did my performance, I had dancers, and
Hmm.
nobody else had done that. That was the first year I was nominated. I didn't win, but at the
Who
time,
won that year?
Tashan won R&B female vocalist of the year, but I won
She was
with
they was hot that
group.
time.
Yeah, I won with the group. But the following year after that, I started winning them. It
You
was
was just
like,
conquering that.
oh yeah, because I nobody else was changing their clothes before, or in between performances. I
It's
had
like you
dancers. You know, somebody said they were like, "Fella, we was at the BET Awards." It was like, 'cause when I came out with the dancers and stuff, they were like, "Oh, I shot my first video here."
hmm.
Um,
Who shot it?
oh gosh,
Putting you on
put
the
me on the
spot now.
spot. Yeah, I
We,
know.
we, we didn't pass the hot place.
Yeah.
It's in 30 minutes now. We ain't made the things hot. It's
Right.
double time.
I forgot.
Get to double
What he
time,
was going
man.
too many
Next
people
question
or
is
something
gonna
like
be
that.
hot. Next question is gonna be
So yeah.
hot. Okay.
So yeah, shot my first video here. I got to do in Atlanta. I did a lot of cover stuff, although I wanted people to start getting to know me as a recording artist or
Mhm,
independent artist.
mhm,
Here I was able to really horn in on being an independent artist,
mhm.
and so I'm thankful to Alaska for that, because and then I started doing more stuff with hip hop here.
'Cause I think when I seen most of your work, it was like way before. I'm like, damn. I was trying to find you to make songs back then, man. I was like, this lady ain't messing with me, man. But one day, man, one day, I will show them who I am. One day, that was just me in my head. Like in there, I say my work, it don't reach the level yet, but it will reach there. So now, it was since you said the hip hop awards, it was this one year, right?
Hmm.
You didn't win. Uh, I don't think you won R&B that year. I think that year Tyler G won R&B. Do you remember Tyler G with Unbreakables? Asian
No,
girl.
Taylor G. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you won R&B of the year that year.
I
And
won that particular year. I won with um Tate Tarantino.
hmm,
Yeah.
to live and die in AK.
Hmm. That one
So
was
the
that one.
R&B department, I remember this because my head might be like this, but I remember
Hmm.
many things. People was like, hold on, she won R&B over Don McClain.
Hmm.
Well, how did you feel about that year?
Oh, I didn't. I didn't even push that year. That year that she won, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That was the year that I was gone on the cruise ship and came back. So I think my comment was, she did the work that year. If I was here to do the work, she wouldn't have won it. And that came
Oh shit.
and of course, yeah, that came back. But you know, I say what I mean, and I usually say things with intention,
I like that, man.
you
Let
know.
me brace. Fix my collar so they
So
don't
yeah.
hear
But yeah,
it.
she did a lot of work.
Hmm.
But um
Shout
live,
out, shout out to Taylor G.
yeah,
But
shout
go
out to
ahead,
Taylor
could talk your
G.
shit still.
Right.
Talk your talk.
Um Live performance, there was nobody doing what I was doing live.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
and I proved the point that following year.
So the following year, when you came back, everything went back to the rightful owner.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Went back to normal.
Jesus, Jesus. This lady is there. It's not like you rappers. It's
Yeah.
more dangerous. It seems like the top civilians are more hotter than the rappers nowadays. It's crazy to me. Okay. Now, we're saying that, right?
Mhm.
Times you were doing music here, did you feel like there was anybody else that was doing anything that was up to your level? Who was your competition here that you would even see as competition that we can kind of, you know,
So I will say the one thing I was fearful of being here was that
mm,
I didn't have any competition. I didn't have anyone to glean off of. Whereas when I was in Atlanta,
mm.
I had plenty of people to glean off of. Like I could go to a show and see somebody do their thing, and I had competition. Iron sharpens iron. Um, go see somebody do a show and then put your show together, you know, and you know how it is with
Mm.
with even being a rap artist. You'll go do a show, you see other people get up there, and you be like, oh, I could do mine better next time than that, or I like what they did. Okay, I like, y'all have that here. I don't
You believe we have that here?
know. So I was afraid that I would lose my edge when I would go back to when I would get booked to go to Atlanta and perform,
Why?
because
That's a
I felt
very
like I would get stagnant because I didn't have anything to push me here. So I had to push myself.
hmm. So in if I'm understanding what you are saying correctly, being here slows down your speed. It's like in Atlanta you are running at 100 miles an hour, but here the the drive to go is at a 55.
No, I'll
Elaborate.
say
Elaborate.
I'll use this.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Remember when Usain Bolt first came out running,
Mhm.
and then he'd be so far ahead he would turn around,
So look at them. Where are they?
look at them,
They're not even
run
there.
backwards, and turn around and go. That's how I felt here. So I didn't feel like, and then I go back to Atlanta and okay, let me keep my pace so I don't take off so quick.
So you mean to tell me here you was not even running at maximum speed?
I was running at when I when we said go here, yes, I was running at maximum speed, but I
People
had
are
enough,
people are hard are going
yeah,
racing and you are
and I had
here
to turn
drinking
around
drinking
and
your
be like,
corona.
oh, okay,
Let me wait for them at
yeah.
Lake Otis or Northern Lights so they can catch up before we go. Cousin Us, you are here. I see you. They give you good. Today your name is everywhere, Cousin Us. Huh? Today you are a famous guy, man. So Cousin Us, today I found out that you was part a rapper before radio personnel. You was freestyle. I didn't know if you win the battle or not. That is up for the OGs to say. But and our legendary Dan McClain mentions you today too, man. So you're doing hard today. Hmm. So he's saying coming up here, the speed is a little bit different than Atlanta.
it was it was only different because I didn't have other singers that I needed to compete against. They had great singers here. They were still developing, but because they didn't have anybody to say, "Hey, this is what you need to do," or "You should
Hmm.
do this," it was like I was already here. So I had to bring myself here to kind of pull some people up. And there was some resistance. There were some people that was like, "Oh, I can have you."
And what
Okay.
was some of the problems you was facing during
I mean, there
doing
was
it?
just some people that, there's a lot of cliques here. And then I was
Hmm.
part of LME. And so,
Wouldn't you say you was a click? You was click up too, but or would you say you just got kind of
yeah, I
brought
mean, I
in?
got with LME. There was several cliques here or
Hmm.
crews here. So I got with,
Who were other people too that was
let's see, LME, Unbreakable. Um,
have fire music?
there was DNA
I was carrying speakers for them.
and um, there was a lot of crews
You
and
said the D and who was that?
well, it was a producer
Okay.
here, but I can't remember
Hmm.
what other. There was several different groups, and everybody was adding, like they were. LME was setting a blueprint up,
What you mean?
like they were setting a standard. LME, like people would hate when Block would get the mic and announce. I
Oh.
got a special announcement, and it was like he was always adding somebody new to the crew that was like, wait, he's making all the great people, man. Folks hated LME. They hated to see us coming. We was coming like we would be deep on the
So this
stage.
thing not
Like
start today.
they had a female, but we had two because it was myself and Tashan. But Tashan was a beast as a
Hmm.
female rapper. Like
Yes, I remember those times. I
love
remember.
her or hate her,
She
when
was.
she got on that stage, everybody's eyes was on her. I don't care who the female rappers were. It wasn't none of them was touching that girl. Like
Hmm.
none of them. She
She,
just
she
had
has
that.
the image and the boss too.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
So and the craziest thing was she started off just singing, and then she was like out of a challenge. It was like,
She
okay, I'll
started
start
rapping.
rapping, and the girl could flow. Like she took that persona and just recreated herself, and she
Yeah.
did a great job. She did a great
Do you
job in
think
it.
that was a great move for her to leave the singing and go to the rapping?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To me, she was like her light shined
Shine more as
more
a rapper.
as a rapper. I didn't get to see her in her heyday. I forgot the name of they had a group.
Hmm.
I came after that, but I heard a lot about the group that she sang with.
Hmm.
Um, because like Cassandra Singleton, the owner of Bottoms Boutique,
Shout out to her, by the way.
yes, and she was a part of the group too. And
She was a,
she
what?
not LME, but the group that Tashan was a part of. I forget
You
the name
mean
of
to
that group.
tell
And
me
she can sing.
the lady at Bottom's Boutique
She can sing.
is a singer too?
Oh yeah,
Cassandra, we never know you they sing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Ah, Cassandra. Cassandra supported me back in the day with my Habibi shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I will not forget that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I will not forget that.
And
I
she's
still
a
appreciate that, man.
yeah.
I'm gonna come by the store and buy something because if I remember correctly, I one of my models left with a shirt. I don't know if I settled it or I not settled it. I cannot remember well. But anyways, I appreciate you from that. That was like 6 years ago. I
Mm.
still remember. I remember forever. Well, let's continue.
But yeah, I would
Hmm.
get my shoes and stuff there. But she's a great support. Like
Yes.
people like even her was like, hey, you need to meet this person, and you because they like I said they had a group and they had already set a standard when that group was popular when it came
Hmm.
to singing. So to have people like her even endorse and say, hey, yeah, we need you here. So this is where you need to go. You introduce you to these people.
Hmm.
So I was blessed.
Yeah.
Coming back here was a blessing. And I got to get in the studio with a lot of the hip hop, like the hip hop community really embraced and took me in. So
No,
and
I've
that was
seen that.
fun. That was fun because I didn't really I got to sing. I used to do vocals for Young Jeezy.
Young Jeezy. Oh, yeah,
So I
the
would go
rapper
in the
Young Jeezy?
so I would go in the studio and sing on some of his tracks. So that was as far as I did with hip hop. There were some other ones, but it was studio work. But to get to actually go in, like I came and it was already ready. This is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna say. This is what you're gonna sing.
Hmm.
And I just go in and do it. Here it was, what would you like to do? What would you like to sing? What and
Hmm.
can you write it? And that's what I started doing when I got here.
Was that harder for you to do or easier?
It felt natural. It wasn't
So
harder.
you
It
felt
felt
like you
natural. Like
was
this
in
is what I wanted.
control.
This was part of my dream.
Hmm.
So I was on a different journey of my dream finally.
So now, since it's supposed to be the hard part, and we don't haven't gave you hard question,
Okay.
then and you, I'm supposed to give you hard question because being mad that you didn't give me a feature back in the days,
You never
and
asked.
and I think I asked, but maybe my message didn't get to the top messages that time.
I'm gonna let
That
you ask
time
your hot
I was a
question, and
little dog,
I'm
you
gonna let
know.
him ask his hot question. Then I'm gonna tell y'all how I actually met Starboy.
Oh, shit.
But go ahead with your with
But
the hot
anyways, it's on
topics.
live. Nothing can be cut here. So whatever she say, I don't even know. I don't even know. But let me confuse her a little bit so she might
Okay.
forget that question. Now you said with LMA that time, things where people were will be mad that you guys are coming in like powerhouse,
Hmm.
like 7,000 horsepower. So, so where was the other competitions? Who were the other competitors? So I don't know you for biting your tongue now, madam.
So then Unbreakable came up with Taylor G. and Taylor G
Oh, so
was supposed to.
okay, this is the
So
allies.
Taylor G by herself was supposed to be for Unbreakable, both Tasha and I. She was supposed to be their female rap
That
artist.
was y'all supposed to be the one that's gonna come. Hey, we're gonna go here. You get Taylor G.
Mhm. Yeah,
Wrap them there.
yeah, and be their singer.
Hmm.
Taylor is a beautiful soul,
Hmm.
like
I agree.
very sweet. So I kind of felt bad because it was like people, were like, "Oh, what y'all gonna do now?" And you know, me when I'm competitive. So me when I get on stage, hey, welcome,
Don't
welcome,
fight.
welcome, welcome to Anchorage. That was my thing. Or if I'm in Fairbanks, hey, thanks for letting me come in your city.
Hmm.
Like I get on stage. My goal is to make you forget who came on before me and not even pay attention to who's coming on after me. And that was
Hmm.
my goal every time I went on stage. I even just tell it to Tashan, I'm like, yeah, we in the same crew, but get your light while you on stage, because when I come on, they gonna forget what you did. And that was fun because it was like
It was a
a
friendly competition.
yeah, friendly competition. And so, but some people they didn't like it because some folks,
Give me a situation, occasion where things got kind of a little bit
um,
competitive or a little bit
okay, we'll
when you
we'll
had to
we'll
bring
talk about the
your candy self.
R&B and hip hop awards.
Oh, that! Oh my God, that was always, that one is always a hard one.
Yeah,
Reggie, this is your fault. Now I'm
no.
dealing with what you dealt with. Now I understand.
Reggie was putting on something great for the people, but it was always hard. You always have people who feel like their person should have won. Their team did more work. Did da 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 da. And so by this time, I had won. So I didn't win the first year that I was in there, but I won back to back the next 2 years. And then Taylor G won the third year because I was gone, and then I came back. And but I didn't walk away with. We walked. Tay Tarantino and I walked away with the single of the year. So I felt like, hey, I still got I still
You
got
got
something.
something.
Then the following year I went back to winning the award.
Climb,
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, I'm back to it. So
Clarence.
by then folks was like, I mean, yeah, she dope. Like I would hear the comments. They'd be like, so cousin Ash did not help because cousin Ash would be like, she the best we got. I don't care who you are, you get out there, you get on the stage, Dawm McClain the best we got. And I used to be like, stop doing that.
I'm the new
but
cousin. Cousin As, you see, I took something from your book. Mhm.
but people started getting mad. They swore it was rigged, or you know, somebody was like, "Ah, yeah, she been winning. Like, stop, let somebody else get something." It's getting old hearing you out there singing. Like, let somebody else do something. Like,
Hmm.
this person's new. Like, she dope. Like, we're not taking her dopeness, but it's time for other people to come in there and get it. And my whole thing was like, I agree. So get it. Because as long as I'm out here doing what I'm gonna do,
Hmm.
you need to be working harder than me. And when I see you coming up, I'm gonna go harder. So good luck with that. That
Hmm.
was,
That was the mindset.
that was the whole thing. Or you get people like, I'm tired of hearing. If I want to hear somebody yodel, then they can come see you. Okay. And that would piss them off because my comment would be like, okay.
Just cut it short.
I was supposed to get mad. It's like,
I would see some would say you was winning and getting selected in positions because you had links with the people there. That was the reason why you was in that position. What answer would you tell those people?
that people were literally calling in and voting or going online and voting.
Hmm.
I have a fan base in other places. So, yeah, everybody who was voting might not even have been in Alaska
Hmm.
because they tell us to put the stuff
Put the
up.
thing
It
out
was
there.
people could call. They would call and vote, or go on a thing, put their vote in, go online,
Hmm.
vote, you know. People gonna get mad,
Hmm.
and they have a right to be. They have a right to get mad, you know. But I was winning stuff when I lived in Atlanta.
Hmm. So you say not new. You from how you were set up and you already knew you was ahead of the league.
Hmm.
It sounded like that.
Yes.
Even if you had competition, you was ahead, and I don't think you were somebody like that would always hold your tongue on stuff. Now let's fast forward a little bit much. Not actually not very long. I would say a year ago
Mm-hmm.
from now, exactly around this time, I started my I woke up on the wrong side of the bed and I started the promoter thing. I went to 120
Oh.
promoter show and they wanted to pay me $25 to perform, and then that didn't go. So I seen you write something similar to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I share it, but then your response was kind of I don't remember what it was,
So
but
you
it was like, damn, you kind of like, nah, I ain't fuck with, I ain't messing with that. I don't know what the hell you talking about.
No, that's not what I said. You was
Maybe
like,
I
see,
said,
we're in the same boat. And I was like, no, mine's a little
oh
different
yeah,
because what I was saying, I got what y'all, and I was trying to say, I got what y'all saying. Y'all were saying,
yeah.
hey, we should get paid, this little bit of money that you want
Sam
us to come.
Solomon, I salute you. I see you down the goat. You are right.
Um, we should get paid. Y'all calling us to perform.
Mm,
And then, so your comment was, I see you, they doing you the same way they doing us. I was like, no,
mm.
two different situations. And that's what I was saying
I
because
felt like, what?
well, this is what I was saying, two different situations because I was commenting on someone saying
Mhm.
that because I didn't want to perform for that money, I was difficult to work with.
What was that? You mind? What was going on at that time?
They just said the person, a promoter out here, they said that they didn't say it. They said that, oh, I didn't say that. But too many people were saying, and I was getting from several people
Hmm.
that were saying that this person said that I was difficult to work with. And so what I was saying on my post was just because I have a standard that I
Hmm.
bring and I say this is how much
Hmm.
I charge and you can't afford it, just go on about your business, but don't try to sabotage me from getting other work just
Hmm.
because you can't afford me and tell people I'm difficult to work with. So when you were saying, because I had somebody was saying, "Hey, yo, the artist is going in." I didn't even see the post that you had,
Hmm.
but they were like, I guess y'all were talking about, hey, these promoters ain't paying y'all, and y'all should strike against the promoters, or basically, don't work with them. So when you commented, see, they're doing the same thing to us, I was saying, no, I'm talking about something else because they're not saying Starboy is difficult to work with
Hmm.
because he charges. No,
Hmm.
they were saying, well, we're not gonna pay you. Now I was saying that's a different situation because at least they're just saying, well, we're not gonna pay you, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna perform,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
you go on about your business, and you
And
can
you
get
just
booked by somebody else.
so you was told that you're not gonna get paid, or you didn't agree
I
on
told
payment.
them I
This is
was
what.
not performing for $50.
Thank you.
You got my name on here.
Thank you.
People are coming.
Thank you.
You're charging at the door.
Mm-hmm.
You who books or puts a show together and is charging, but you can't afford the acts that you got coming. Like,
Thank you.
don't do that. So I agree with that. But what I was saying, and you probably took it out of context, which I was saying, no, our situation is different though, because I just said, no, I'm not doing it for $50. And they told everybody I was difficult to work with. They didn't say that to y'all. They just said,
Mine was said in a group, in a like private group chat. But you
mm-hmm,
know me, many people, it's not hard. I don't make many enemies.
mm-hmm,
I when I talk, I just troll. So I have people everywhere,
mm-hmm,
and the thing got to me. But the thing is, it was the respect level. With mine, it was. I said, okay, I understand that there's a possibility that the turnout might not be good.
mm-hmm,
So I would accept your this uh, proposal that you do, but at the end of the show, I also want at least this amount of percent. I want 15 or this amount of percent of what you make from the door. If you cannot pay me for this, that way nobody loses.
sounds fair.
Then they hit me with all artists. Yeah, I gotta treat all artists equal. I say, hey, I'm not down in no other artist, but what I do, all artists don't do that. How I
Mm-hmm,
perform, all artists don't perform like that.
mm-hmm,
So yeah, in that case, brother, yeah, man, we're good. If you
mm-hmm,
can't, so the negotiation was in there. So now this is the thing. I did their shows before. Every time I
mm-hmm,
come there, I performed for them many times.
Mm-hmm.
Now I come to this show, I'm gonna go and be like, nah, you gotta pay. I say, okay. So how comes when I perform for you, you don't pay me, but now I come to your door as an artist, you want me to pay to go to your show? How does that work?
Exactly.
Then I go to another show, I see they are collecting money. They are collecting money.
Mm-hmm.
I say, okay, I'm gonna start to be a detective now. I'm gonna start videoing everybody that is paying. As they are paying, I video until
Mm-hmm.
I see at least $50. Nah, no, no matter how you go, you can at least give everybody 10, 10, 10, if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I start my case too. I see, I can't remember all of how it went. It's too long.
Mm-hmm.
I do too
Right.
many things. But that was my case. So now my war with that was started. That's why many of these artists need to respect me. Because of me now, they are giving them at least something to go to. When they give you your $25, make sure you go to Tip Tap and go spend it there. By the way, shout out to Tip Tap for being one of the sponsors of this podcast. They have a new strain out. It's called Super Buff Immature. If you smoke it in your head, all your stress is gonna disappear, and you're gonna have a good night's sleep, and you're gonna wake up running like a horse. And they have another one too. It's the weed drink. It's it's a weed drink. It's called Peach Mango Dank. It's 80 milligrams of heaven. It's like a liquid prescription, but the right one and the herb. Let's continue with the legendary Dan McClain of Alaska, the best R&B to ever do it here. Right now, I also have R&B artists that are in my camp, but right now, since Dan is here, I will wait for Don Ross when they are talking to the goat. Take your time. Dan, even Sam Sullivan said that Dan is the goat. The
Ah,
goat of the other of the rap area is calling you the goat of R&B.
hey, Sean.
That is great thing. So with that being said, with you performing here, right? You've been doing this here for a while. How do you feel about how promoters treat you as an artist?
So we'll back up again. I feel like the reason because they were paying their people, they just was giving them a little something.
A
But
little
before
something.
that, she wasn't even doing that.
Hmm.
And I gave the suggestion of, hey, there's other ways. If you're saying you can't afford to pay them, then do stuff like give them comp tickets, and then they can decide they can either sell those tickets and keep it for themselves,
Hmm.
or give them to their family. Here's your couple of comp tickets.
Hmm.
Give them a percentage of that. I actually gave that idea, and she started doing
Hmm.
it. After I felt like I'm tired of being here all day,
Hmm.
all night. I'm performing twice.
Hmm.
Folks are asking if I'm performing.
Hmm.
We know why they coming to this R&B event. You know what? Instead of fighting, I'm just gonna do my own, and that's how I birthed the Dawm McClain experience here. Now, I
Hmm.
used to do my own show while I was in Atlanta, so I just decided I'll do it here. Um, I I've worked with there's promoters that I've worked with that had the opportunity to work with that don't work with some of these other artists out here.
Hmm.
So I could say that instead of that's why I didn't like the comment of them saying I was difficult, because I've never been difficult to them. I just said this is how much it's going to cost for me, and I didn't even give my regular rate. You know,
Why do you think that they didn't want to pay that?
people just feel like they shouldn't have to, and I understand putting on the show, but when I put on the Don McClain Experience, or now we call it DME.
Hmm.
I If I have an opening act, I pay them. It's no, "Oh, okay, well, thanks for coming." If I have an opening act or dancers, they get paid, because I understand as an artist, and with self promoting, because I'm not a promoter, but self promoting my shows,
Hmm.
if you're charging at the door, first of all, when you say this is the spot I'm going to rent, this is the band or DJ I'm going to have, I want this many opening acts,
Hmm.
you set your tickets to meet the basement. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you go from there. So I call BS on that whole, oh, we can't afford. Dude, who continues putting on an event and you
You
can't
can't afford.
afford it? Like the same person, you can afford it. It's just that you don't want to do it. And I get that. Now,
They are selfish.
yeah,
They want to keep all the money in their pocket.
yeah. Now, as far as, and I know also how some of these clubs do, not just here, but my experience, whatever you ask for, anything, like we used to do that. We had a club in Atlanta that we worked out of that we kept the door and then got a percentage of the bar.
Mm,
But we had to have those numbers in there. Here, it's hard to get those numbers. It's hard here
mm.
because in Anchorage, I'll say, because when I go to Fairbanks, complete different thing.
That's what I heard. I've been telling
Fairbanks,
these artists
man,
this, but they
they
ain't
are
trying to
they
hear what I'm
appreciate
saying.
you.
They just want to hear that Anchorage is the biggest city. No,
It
they
is.
they they
Fairbanks
might be the
supports.
smallest city or the next, but they support their artists more
Yeah,
than Anchorage does. I've been telling these
they do.
people this.
Like they used to get mad at the hip hop awards. Fairbanks used to be coming away with
I'm
them,
glad.
and they would be so mad. And that's why one year when I was hosting, I got on the mic. I said, "Y'all sitting
Thank
up
you,
here booing and mad, but
thank you,
Fairbanks supports their artists.
thank
Y'all
you,
want to see your artists on there?
thank you,
Support your local artists." And I
thank you.
said that I ain't had no problem saying it
I
because it
think
was
I
like,
remember that. I remember that. I
yeah,
remember that.
because they was mad, like they was booing, like they were mad. I was like,
Man,
support
there
your
was man.
artists.
I came in my full African gown. You should have seen
Oh,
me.
yep,
I
I
just did it
remember.
in the half, ready to find a Fairbanks artist that I can handle myself. Hey, come here. Ready to headbutt a Fairbanks artist that day. I think even the East Siders that day
hmm
wanted to bring. It was it was to I think it was Starbucks and some
hmm Starbucks and
Bishop Slice.
Bishop Slice,
They had this
Tony
girl with
Taylor.
them. Yeah. Wow, wow. Tony Taylor was there?
Tony Taylor
Oh, damn,
won.
Tony.
Tony won that year or
Yes.
something.
All
Like
I remembered
Fairbanks
was
took almost every award
everything, not
home
almost. They took, I think,
for the hip hop side.
man, you know, I was so mad that year. Because that year was the year Duckman's, all my niggas drill, all my niggas drill, all my niggas.
Yes.
Ah, boy,
Yes.
I was so
Yes.
mad when that song did not win. I
Yes.
remember I stood up and I adjusted my gown and turned it
That was
into
a
a shirt.
disappointing one because yeah, we just
Ah,
knew that one was gonna, yeah.
that was a big song for
Yeah.
us, man. But I think that year they have, bitch, I'm from Fairbanks. The Fairbanks people had that song, and that song
hmm
had like, if I'm not lying, like 80,000 views.
It had a lot, and it had a lot of people on there. Like Starbucks had already made a name for itself because they were hired to perform at the Tanana State Fair,
Hmm.
and the person who ran the fair at the time came and made them stop performing. And they weren't doing any derogatory stuff. They just didn't want to. They didn't want rap at the thing, and that that made national news,
Hmm?
and that's been well over 15 years ago. And that Tanana State
Start even
Fair,
making.
black folks still only trickle into that. Like that was such a detrimental thing. Like because I usually do the fair now every year. I didn't last year, but usually they have me come out there because they're trying to get the numbers back for the black community to come back. But they lost that left a nasty taste in people's mouths.
So they stopped his performance because they didn't want to rap over
They didn't want to rap on it. Here he was hired, paid to perform. He was not doing derogatory. They
it.
did
He
the
was hired
censored. He was hired. They
and
did their
to be
censored
there.
version of their songs. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So that was okay. I hear that. Aha, rappers. You I don't want to take away from this moment that you are talking about because
Mm,
that is wrong if you are stopping our artists just because our skin
yeah.
color and stuff like that. That is wrong, and we will not accept that ever again as long as Starboy is over here as ambassador. That will not happen again. But with that
Ambassador
being said, I
Starboy.
want artists to understand another thing. Because when it comes to booking people for these big events that they don't care, they will spend the money on you and spend thousands. They will do it because these big events will do that. They
hmm
will cut you that check. State Fair will cut you your check and give it to you before you even get on the
Yep.
stage. They will
Yep.
be here. Carry your
Yep.
money. Whether
Yep.
you perform, you don't perform. That is up to you. Your
Yep.
check is here. Go. Now go and wait for your time. They don't wait for the show to end. They will give you your check the minute you get there. I'm like, damn, this is something else. But with that saying, you gotta help me with the state fair, with the big stage. That's where I want to.
Yeah, one day I
St.
get
Paul is
there.
coming. I need to be up there now. Ah, St. Paul is coming and you don't bring me. What is wrong with you? But anyways, I want you to understand artists that when they select these places for these important shows, they select by who can perform for at least an hour of music.
Mm.
You will have 50 rappers. Now they say, who has clean music and
Mhm.
can perform for an hour? Now you have only five of us lingering right
Mhm.
there. All the 45 have disappeared because you are too gangster. You are
Yeah.
too gangster. You wanna we
You
top
don't want to
civilians.
censor it.
We are singing about love here. We don't need to censor nothing, baby, baby, baby. We fit in right there. We don't need to censor nothing. Because I want to say this. This might not be, many people might not like saying this,
Mhm.
but I also have to say this. I have to give big ups. I have to make a separate video, but this one I will say it here. You know, the most pay I have collect from here, from promoters, and I haven't worked with a lot of white promoters, but the most pay from one, two, three, the three rankings are all from a white promoter. None of my black promoters, I repeat again,
I agree.
none of my black promoters, let me see, look
I've
at the
had the
camera
same
so you
thing,
see me.
right?
None
I
of
agree.
you have ever paid me something that is like, I'll take and say, hey, this person appreciate me. This
I
person
agree.
appreciate me. I will give credit to Jasmine Smith. Jasmine Smith. Thanks to Jasmine, today they sit in office. We are sitting like this. Even I can do like this. Hello. Okay. Okay. So immigration. I just trick you. I'm gonna send that picture to immigration and tell them this is my wife and she's gonna help me stay in America.
Oh, you know
I'm just
they.
playing.
Also, you know
but
they gonna do the full research.
but Jasmine did. Give me space. My only, because me, if I say both. My only other problem I had before with Jasmine was never nothing. Is the Wakanda Ball. Wakanda Ball, they took $25 from my check because I stayed in the event. That one. That was
Oh,
you guys was wrong for that. But
wow!
yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
wait.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've never heard of
Yeah,
such.
yeah, yeah.
I've
I,
never heard of such.
okay, okay. I'm not gonna put that on just you, Jasmine. I don't know who's behind that, but they took $25
Whoever
from me
did it,
because
you
I stayed.
dead wrong for that.
But now I thank you for establishing me here.
Yeah, she more than made it up.
Yes,
Okay,
she made it up. She
that's
made it up. She
I've
made it
never heard of such.
up.
Oh my god!
Jasmine, don't you fire me.
But
Tomorrow I don't
right,
want to my stuff outside.
but
Jasmine.
I will say this though. You're right. People who will say, "Oh, F Reggie Ward, da 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 da," he won't play my music. But you don't have the clean version. Like when you do that, you gotta have a clean version. And you send both. People who and you have to make people respect who you are. Meaning, I used to have people want to hire me to do stuff, and then I say, okay, yeah, cool, I'll do it. And then I look up and the flyer go up, and they didn't went on my Facebook page and snatched a picture that my family and stuff then put up on the page, and I'm like, all you had to do was contact me. I have my approved promo pictures. I was one of the only people who had a EPK.
Electronic press kit, if you guys don't know.
But people don't. I have a bio. There's a lot of people don't even have a bio. And have your stuff electronic. Like I have it on the phone. I got my long bio and I got my short bio.
Hmm.
I said, oh, how do I announce you? Have your own announcement. Send it on the phone to them. Like, here you go. This is how you live. How do I introduce you? Right here. Just read it. Although folks are still, they could be just 10 words. They still gonna skim through
Or
them
bring your
10
own
words.
sound, record your own studio. Go there and say, yo, it's Dan McClain coming on stage. Record it if you don't want them to do it. Because
Right.
my favorite person to bring me on stage here is Dan Mega.
Yeah.
Dan Mega. I give him that. He's my favorite person to bring me on stage. Whenever
Hmm.
Dan Mega is on the mic, before I get on the stage. I have little things where I don't agree with my elders over there, but most of the time they they think of me when important artists come here. I like that.
Hmm.
I like that. Now next time, make sure when I leave my pocket they have something there. Okay,
Right.
but I appreciate that they think of me when important artists come because they know I'm gonna deliver.
Hmm.
That is another thing to make sure they know you deliver. That is one. But going back to my promoter thing, I want to give a big thanks to Helen. Helen Showdown. Do you know Helen?
Um,
Showdown Productions. What you think about them?
oh, okay, I've heard
Before I
them.
even start giving
Okay,
advice.
go ahead.
Helen, this past last Friday with the Sean Kingston, I got booked for that show.
Hmm.
So in the midst of things, I was sitting there. I'm one person that I will never shy away to tell you that what you pay me is not enough. I will. Oh, I don't care who it is. You know, before I continue, I did that at the what's it called, Mr. Vegas. When Mr. Vegas came here, I was on the flyer.
Mm.
Minute I asked about payment, you know what they do? They call me back. Yeah, man. Me and me, my business partner. Yeah, we decide to go different ways. But you decide to go different way. I'm the only performer you took out your list because I asked for money. But let's fast forward
Mm.
to this one. Helen hit me up on the thing like, hey, did you what is the payment and thing? Is this every artist is getting this?
Hmm.
I say I hear that, but that is not what I receive. That is not what I perform for.
Hmm.
That is little for what I perform for.
Hmm.
This is what I do. And her response is, okay. I tell her I will do it for this. This is what I can do it for.
Hmm.
She her response to me back was, okay, I will do it. I'm down to do it. Why? Because I have watched your podcast and I've noticed you was unhappy with how we treated you with your showdown performance for the Waka Flocka.
Mm.
She didn't treat me with ego. She could have saw that what I said online and said, you know what, fuck stuff. Probably how I would think. Me, I would probably think like that too. But she didn't think like that.
Hmm.
She was like, okay, we're gonna do this. I want you to feel appreciated. And I go to the show time comes, they are on me. If
Hmm.
it's other promoters of my kind, they'll be acting big like, oh shit, I'm busy, I don't got time for this shit.
Hmm.
One. Two, when I came to the show, I was standing on the side because I'm used to performing with promoters not even giving a fuck what
Hmm.
the opening artist. All they care about is the big artist.
Hmm.
No, she said, "What are you doing standing here? Where's the people you are here with?" They took me to the green room. I have never been to the green room in Willowa. Do you know about
Hmm.
Willowa, the green room?
Downstairs.
Yeah,
Hmm.
big artist. You should know. I have never been there. And that was the first time I'm like, wow. So you mean to tell me out of all the things I do here, nobody valued us to bring us here? They made me tea. They made
Yeah.
my tea and brought me tea, brought me water, asked me what else you need. No, 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 just tell me what else you need. And stood there and had a conversation with
Hmm.
me while our also our also yeah, no, we are openers, but also we also have openers.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Openers have openers.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's
What?
because you made yourself, you value yourself, and like you said, when people get mad and they say, "Oh, Don just knows the da 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 da,"
Mhm,
but Don shows up on time. Don looks like an artist.
mhm. Yes. Dan will put on another.
Don, I'm gonna put on the show,
Dan gonna put on more than the show.
right? And you value yourself as an artist, and so that, and you demand respect
Mhm,
without being nasty and rude. And I think I'm all that. You
mhm,
demand respect.
mhm,
There have been plenty of times that I've told a person this is what I charge, and they say, "Oh, okay, never mind." I've also done the thing where I say, "Well, I do the bidding, process. What is it? What is in your budget?"
mhm,
And they might say, "Well, I can give this amount." Well, for that amount, I'll come and do one song, and then I'm leaving right after.
mhm.
When you have people, and again, that's what made me mad about somebody saying that I was difficult to work with.
I know. I think I know who is it, but I ain't gonna put it out there
Right.
today. Because
You know
today I'm a
exactly
little
because we
bit.
were
Because
we were
today I feel
complaining
like
about the same
other
we were
days.
right. We were complaining about the same promoter. But I was just like, that's why my thing was like, no, it's different. Because you're right. They ought to pay us, but to then turn around and try to mess with my reputation, which messes with my money from other
Other
places
places.
by saying to somebody that I'm difficult to work with, that was the ultimate disrespect. And that
Mm.
is what upset me. But I appreciate them for saying that. You know why? Because it made me get on my thing and say, I'm gonna put on my own show. I'm just gonna go back to
Mm.
putting my own show on,
Same
and
thing.
that's what I did.
Same thing. I put on my show after that janky promoter. I made money. I pay
Exactly.
all my artists $50. Yes. Yeah, I
You
pay
paid them
them
all
$50.
$50.
Every one of them. And they can none of them is gonna come here until I didn't give them money.
That's
And
funny.
they can speak for me if anybody check me. Because I know Americans, they like to check anything. Even
Receipts.
even they wake up, they go check their senior box. Stay there. So that's yes. Okay.
But yeah, and again, it's the work ethic, and I've watched people who I did take on because I feel like when you do things,
Mhm.
you learn things, you advance. It means nothing if you don't pass some of that down to someone else. And
Hmm.
so at the time, I did pick an artist that I believed in, Caitlin McGarry,
Hmm.
and I did some mentorship with her, um, and amicably afterwards we decided to part ways. But
Hmm.
I enjoy watching people emulate me on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
And there's several of them that I've seen that do what I do, and I'll be like, oh, that's cute. And then I like that because then I'm gonna get on stage and be like, now this is where you got it from, and you got some more learning to do, but I got you.
Yeah. Okay. Would that be kind of like some people would see that as kind of hating?
Is what?
Like you said, okay, I train you like this. Some people, small-minded individuals. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that was
They,
part of what that was part of what encouraged me to go ahead and let her fly, because there were people
hmm,
I learned by being on stage with the artists.
yeah. I think from now on I have to start sitting like this. With women, I can sit like this, but if I'm interviewing gangsters and I do this, they might think otherwise. So I start racking them, so I relax.
That's funny. Some it wasn't Kate, but other people around felt that when I had her on stage with me, I was trying to.
You ain't lying about the $50. Continue.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, sir. My general. Rio, very important member of Madness. Very, very important. I value that. If Rio wake up tomorrow and say he's not working for Madness, I'll be outside his window.
It's funny.
Please come back. Please come back. We need you back. Okay, sorry.
That's
Continue.
funny.
Sorry. Sometimes I get carried away. Sorry. Sorry.
But it was people who felt that
Mhm.
um, by bringing her on stage with me or performing with her, I was trying to outperform her. And that wasn't the case at all.
Mhm.
That's how I learned, and I wanted that for her.
Mhm.
She did great for herself. I enjoy seeing the project she did with you, um, seeing her grow and blossom. And I still wish her much success in whatever she decides to do, because she's a beautiful girl and beautiful soul as well. Um, but I feel that you have to pass things on. And I've enjoyed watching people, like I see people perform and they they changing their clothes in between.
Okay. Yeah, I seen you do that. I think one show you came with this white dress with the blue stripes on the side,
Hmm.
and then you change into something else. I think that was the hip hop awards. I think.
I've changed
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah.
time I came on
That,
the
that was
stage.
that was the because I have a very vivid memory on
Hmm.
like photographic memory. That's how I see things mostly. So I remember that. So many people start imitating your style on that.
Oh yeah, because wasn't nobody going and changing their clothes between.
Hmm.
Singers didn't have dancers on stage, so it was fun watching people. They're like, "Oh, if you want to do this, you gotta do it like that." So it was fun watching people do that
Hmm.
and grow, and to know that I helped encourage and foster people taking their career seriously.
Hmm.
I love when I see. I enjoy it like the other night at the
The competition thing.
was that what that was at Coots?
Yeah, man. I guess I can't just cover nothing and somebody don't get mad.
Ah,
Artists got mad at me again
for what?
for me covering that. They,
Oh,
for me asking questions, they get mad. They get in their feelings and say I don't fuck with them and things like that.
yeah. That's
But I
people.
seen you jamming there, man. I was like, man, she's jamming and you are right in the front. I like that when artists don't feel big, even though you know your level and the weight you carry here, you still don't feel big. You come stand right in front of the artist.
I enjoy. Like I've watched seeing these different crews and stuff.
Mm,
I've enjoyed watching people grow. Like if you got good music, you got good music. There's
mm,
some folks getting some great production going. Like
mm.
what was that? Anytime,
All the time
all the
entertainment.
time
The
entertainment. They had
Bulls.
some big. Who was the young man that was on before them?
Before them.
There was another crew. Somebody else brought up a young man that sang that song was fire. The little
Mm.
dude with the bearded stuff.
Penny
Excuse me,
Taylor.
huh?
Light skin
I
with
guess.
the glasses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Penny Taylor.
The song that he did.
Hmm.
Excuse me.
Mm.
Like this stuff was jamming.
He
Like
said he's the hottest R&B artist right now.
yeah, I giggled.
Giggle. What that mean, man? Penny,
When I heard it, I was like,
your
oh.
mama for this business, your mama in this business have giggled when you said that.
Well, no, I giggled not because I don't think he's talented and that he doing his thing. That song was hot. It was it, it was there's a lot of I've always said that there's a lot of undiscovered talent right here in Alaska.
Mama, break it down for me in a more way that I know you are. You know they bite your tongue for nothing. I don't think that McClain have ever bite her tongue in this life. You know how
But
she never did.
right, but I say things with intention.
Intention.
And he definitely was talented. He got the look.
Mhm.
But I heard him say that and it was just like, oh, because it was kind of like it was because I was standing up there. So it was kind of like,
Oh, he said that on the stage too?
well, somebody
Okay.
somebody said
Look at me. I'm just.
this real R&B singing. That's what the comment was made. This real R&B singing. So I was like, yeah, okay. And y'all did a good job. And they did. That song that was, you know,
But
a
elaborate.
memorable song.
Maybe know what your mind. Tell us what in. Penny say he is the number one right now. That's what he is saying.
Right now, yeah, he's doing his thing. There's nobody else out there right now doing
And hmm.
anything, or they've moved. So it's like it's your time.
Who is okay? Let's go into this question now. Give me your top five R&B here, and you cannot be in it since you are the
I
dog.
don't. I never. If anybody who knows me knows I never. I do not put myself. I am my own hardest critic, and I don't put
Same
myself.
here.
I don't sit up
Man, we
there and
have
be
a lot
like,
of things in common when it comes to this music thing.
yeah. I mean, I don't. I don't even watch video footage. People send me video footage of something that I did, and it takes me 2 weeks to watch it. I cannot watch my own performances right
Sometimes
after.
it's like that. Sometimes it's like, oh, I already know every moment I was in there.
Every moment I missed,
Mm.
everything I forgot, like it's already in my head. Like I'm like, ugh. I'm always like, I could have done better. I've always done that, and I will continue to do that. Because of the day that I don't get nervous before going on, I need to quit. The day that,
You still have that?
oh
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Okay. Now it got better for me because I guess I'm more silly now, and I've been doing it for a while. It's not as bad as before. Like when my heart is like, poof, poof, poof,
hmm
poof, and it takes away half of my energy that I was supposed to use to deliver. I already
mm.
used it in my head, shaking already.
Oh, gotcha.
But the minute I get over there, I'm an energetic person.
Exactly. As soon as I hit the stage and the
So
lights hit me, it's like, hey.
now I'm in a little bubble. I don't. It's like I can't even hear my music.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm paying attention is to which side of this room is not energetic right now. That is where I need
And
to pay attention.
that's what I do. I understand. I do that myself. I do that every time. Like I look for the person that's out there like this.
Yeah. I'm
So
coming to
I'm
you.
gonna sing to you this
Yeah.
whole time
I'm gonna make
because
sure you know I'm looking at you.
I'm looking right at you because you're gonna go from
Here
to
to moving. It,
yep, I got you,
you know
and
how
that's
I
my
know?
goal.
Even if I caught myself like zoning out and I catch eye contact with the artist, the minute I do that, I'm moving. Because I know I do it, so I know somebody else is gonna do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know who's doing stuff out here. I
Ah,
I
yeah, I
haven't
could see some
listened.
people. I see you did the UAA. What's it the thing called?
Yeah, music at noon.
Yeah.
I did that. It was just me though. I don't know who else is like. I haven't.
Like so, there's nobody here that you see like this.
I haven't been paying. I really haven't been paying attention. Like, cause most of the time, if I hear somebody I like, I'm asking, hey,
I'll throw you a
would
few
you like
names.
to be on my on the next DME? Like, I'd like to know because you know,
Damn, that Damien like us. Damien invite us yet, man.
I have a different now. Listen, I have a whole different genre of people that I aim toward.
What is that? Me, I'm universal. I'm like a universal remote. I can shoot anything.
I like with me. I'm in a different age demographic right now.
Hmm. I like the. Oh, okay, okay, I
But
like
I'm
it.
just saying, so it's hard for me to have a DME show and bring up a hip hop artist who's talking about they slanging pills and
Oh,
slapping folks and like I when I put a hip hop artist on my show, they got to be in the line of what I'm doing because I got grown folks, because there's nothing really out here for grown people to go do. Like
me, I'm
they're
singing
not
sweet
doing
songs like whisper something sweet in my ear, something that is gonna dry up my tears. Stop acting like you don't care. When deep down you are, nah, I'm like nervous right now, but I'm not anymore. But you see, I'm talking about sweet things.
it.
Whisper something sweet in my ear. Sweet things.
Hmm.
With the help of other two, they sound a little bit better, But right now, it's like
Okay.
it's like
Well,
yeah.
like I said, when we get off here, I can tell you this is what we pay, and you can decide if you want to come for what we pay
So
or
what kind
not.
of oh okay. You hear here? She's stuck. That telling is here, the Jamaicans. Hey, be careful. Make sure you lock in your doors because immigration is looking for us right now. Even
Ah.
let me go check the main door. No, 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 no. I'll be good. Listen, that is saying is speaking like when I hear stuff like this, I feel like people that start to pay people like stuff like that here are also artists that have dealt with the same type of problem
Hmm.
and would not let that happen to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Will not let that happen to them. That I was telling them earlier, even as little as however you do when I bring artists, I even give them $50. One have clarified. You two, I know you can clarify for me. Now so you say R&B, you seen Destiny before? Destiny is a madness artist. Is one of my artists here. Very hot, very hot artist. Man. I
Destiny.
think she's the future of Alaska
Hmm.
R&B when it comes to the females. You never heard of Destiny Faith? Do you go to R&B live? I figured it out, man. I baited you. I'm like it. If I was a detective, I would be a very dangerous detective. I just make too
No,
much trouble.
I haven't been to R&B live in a while. Yeah.
Okay, let's skip that question. That answers my question, but let's skip that question. Yeah. See, I'm good at what I do, man. I'm very good at what I do. Now with what's going on right now, what is next for you? Like, is there any projects you working on or any artists you're looking for to do anything? Because I know you have something in the works.
So, um, I've got so many songs recorded, and we're finally, um, I've been working with MAD Music with Andre Black.
Andre
Um,
Black, I know Andre Black.
yeah,
Man, I feel like they are the ones. Was it Andre Black and who was that? It
Andre.
was him and this lady that was making music. Who is it?
No, Black has always just been him,
Yeah,
and so Black
I could have
has
swear Black was making music with this one lady. I seen at least two videos from them. And I think he was one of the people that have the opportunity to take off, like really take off
yeah,
online.
yep,
Because he had this one military song that a
yeah.
lot of soldiers paid attention to at that time.
Hmm. I think it was
People
when
don't
you
give him
get
that much
home.
credit, but when he came on Facebook, his numbers were always there.
Yeah, and he still, when he wants to do it, he does. He's a great writer. So we have making a difference music, mad music, and
Mad music.
mhm.
That's close to madness. Oh. Mad and madness. You don't think?
Ours was yeah, we was here first now, but
Huh?
with mad music.
When did you start?
Oh gosh, what year we in? We're in 25. We
I have
have
video proof. My video's been there a long time.
we've been doing. Yours not called MAD. It's called Madness. I
Okay,
said
sorry.
we have ours
So,
MAD.
so we'll have a mad and MAD something, something.
Mhm. Okay.
That will be nice.
But MAD's been around. We've been working together and recording since since 21.
Oh, nice.
Oh, actually we started 2020.
So is that are you in that movement?
We get together, we get in the studio. I still get people. Now that everybody's been doing this thing with selling their catalogs up, and I've been writing for a long time. So people who
Hmm.
I've written for, written with, they've been sending me the stuff to get my royalties off the songs that are
Hmm.
included in the
Nice,
catalog.
nice.
With Mad Music, we've recorded so many songs uh, that I could release one a month for the next 2 years,
Hmm.
without putting out a project. Just here's a single, here's the next single.
Hmm.
The one that's out right now is Life Don't Get Easier. Um, Shout out to Junior and Andre Black with the Dawm McClain experience, and shout out to 49th Degree Magazine because and now we're doing our own show
Hmm.
that will be releasing quarterly,
Is that
AK Uncut,
hmm?
and I'm the host.
AK uncut? What is
hmm
that?
It's so 49th Degree Magazine.
Hmm.
Sophia has
I know.
now she's taking it from just on paper and doing it as video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what's Starboy is birthing a lot of podcasts here. I want to say it before you go, like you say. All these new podcasts I'm seeing that is popping. I will say the OG podcast here, I will not be disrespectful. I will give that OG podcast to the plug house. But the plug house, the other day I see one plug house member say, "Oh, he's been messy." I say, this is crazy. You people do podcasts and you bring people that they explain case.
Hmm.
Now you're telling me I'm messy. That is crazy. That is crazy work right there.
Yeah, hey, it happens to the bigger ones. It happened to Club Shay Shay.
Hmm.
You know,
Fuck shit, shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had his show. Um, he had Cat Williams come on, and
Whew.
folks got mad. I mean, he's
Now
been
that
on for a
that
while,
was
but that was one of his
that was
biggest
one of the
ones.
most watched videos in podcast history
Yeah,
in a day. It was the
yeah,
most watched one. It
yep.
had like how many million?
But that thing broke.
30. It was seeing probably at 70 million views.
Cat Williams knew exactly what he was doing and what he was saying, and so
And that is, I think, from there is when a lot of people went down.
yeah, oh yeah,
A lot
oh
of
my
people
God, they
went
was
down
good. They
from
was
that
like,
because
pew
that
pew.
happened and the effect went.
Yep,
You know, America. When
shots
one
was
thing do
fired.
something, follow. Next
Yeah,
one is coming. Next
yeah,
one is coming.
yeah.
Many people went down after that.
I think though, and I'm gonna say this before we go.
Mhm,
Well, so between that, still recording, keep continuing putting on DME, the
mhm,
Dawm McClain Experience quarterly.
mhm.
Um, I got a couple of more bookings out of state
Hmm.
that I'll be doing. I don't know if I'm going to go back out on the cruise ships. Just pay attention to how things are going.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I like what I'm doing. But I will say this again: there's so much hidden potential
Hmm.
in Alaska, especially in Anchorage. I've always said that there's so much talent here. Just because I haven't heard, of certain people. Um, there was oh God, skip my head. I'm horrible with names, y'all. So please understand, charge it to my head, not my heart. But Zegler, um,
Exactly.
that's the last name. Because I was gonna have her do my show, but something happened. Hold on. Because I can tell you, because I don't want to forget.
Hmm.
Um, but I
Stop the
loved her
money.
voice. She's got um a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Uh,
You need to
Gosh,
know the hot ones because right now, if you ask me, I have the hot, we have the hottest. Madness have the hottest. Right now.
okay.
Destiny. Because me and Destiny have many songs. Right now, I'm waiting for Ramadan to end. We have about 5, 6 days,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna be doing stuff. I even have these songs I have to drop.
Mm.
I think when Ramadan ends the first month, it's safe to call me a rapper.
Ah,
Yeah,
you can go back to it.
yeah. For a month, just for a month.
Yeah. Mm.
Because artists, you cannot call yourself hip hop artist, and you are here. You know they drop music. They talk about you are a hot hip hop. If a Afrobeat guy that sing baby baby. Who's this? Ah, we have the plug house here. Plug house. Let me see what you are talking about. Dawm is the
Oh,
dopest singer we got. Seeing her
thank
live
you.
is definitely an experience.
Thank
It's
you.
definitely an experience. OG podcaster. I see
Thank
one of
you.
your members was calling me Messi the other day, man. Ah, I tell you, I learned from my perarak. I take notes from there. See, right now I believe say the madness is the hottest. I believe that. But I must give credit where credit is due. You guys are the OG podcast. Maybe between you and Toby. You and Toby. Do you know Toby? Hmm. Have you ever done an interview before?
Yeah.
Like a video interview?
Yes.
Where can we watch it?
See, what's his name? Takes it was a long time ago. Takes oh well, I have several video. I mean, I have live performances from
No, I'm
it's
talking
on
about a
YouTube.
sit down interview like this.
Yeah. Um
Where can we watch it?
it's
On
on
a
YouTube.
what?
Flex.
Flex? Ah, if you don't remember them, we don't remember them. Maybe
You know who Flex is?
I don't know no flex. Many people I forget them in my mind now.
Oh,
Sometimes I might know
you
some
forgot him on
people back
purpose.
in the day. No, I don't know no flex though. I don't know nobody name.
Flip.
I
You
think
know
I
Flip.
know who that is.
Yeah, you do know who that is. Cause he was trying to help. I forgot how I actually met Starboy. So let me tell y'all before we go how I actually met Starboy. So I put on
His
my
life.
own show. It was called Dawm McClain and Friends at Lusec Library. And Flip was doing the videography. So we were all backstage talking about, what we're gonna do and going on. And somebody comes up and says, Starboy out here said he part of the video crew. And look at Flip. Well, you have another one besides these three back here? He's like, no, this only part these three that I got is the only ones.
Yeah.
Starboy did not want to pay to come in my show, y'all.
Yeah.
So he was
I was
said that he
invited
was
to
part of
confirm.
he said he was part of the video crew.
They don't pay me, they charge me. They don't pay me. I think was that the first time I met you?
Yes, that was the first time I was just
Now
like,
you just made a mistake. That's not the first time. I think. I think the first time we met you, we were shooting your video at the studio over there at that one guy's studio. Big studio. You have big open space. What's his name? Leonard or Leonard? Leonard?
oh yeah, because that's where Flip did the video for what you call it. Okay, you're right. I met you there,
I have
but
a
it was
good
still
memory.
disrespectful, y'all. He
No,
was like, I'm
it
not
was
going to
not.
pay. I'm not paying
Think
to come
about
on
it.
her show,
Think
but
about it.
I'm gonna say
How
I'm
did
a
I
part of the
get there?
video crew.
How did I get there? You didn't even
But
think.
Flip said
Aha.
we was all there. You came
And
after.
you know what? Many times I walk there, they didn't pay me nothing. All the filming I do there, I never got paid. No money.
Oh.
Now that you say, I don't get no money from that. I went on gigs. I went on gigs that got paid. I received no money. So you gotta
I feel
understand where
you.
they come from. I understand your state. I like things like this when they bust my bubble on my own. It ain't nice. It ain't nice. Ah, they don't bust my bubble. Dan McClain, how do I delete this video?
Well, it's all Flip. I did a thing where Flip would sit down and interview. And right now we are working, like I said, AK Uncut, with me being the interviewer.
Yeah. So that means
My RPK, I have one with me. Or EPK, Reverb Nation calls it RPK, but there's everything is on my YouTube channel and on my website, which
so. Do you
is
have anything out right now that I can go watch? Maybe if I'm home, sitting down, smoking my little gang. Because I like doing that. I love competition. That's why even House, I was trying to bust their bubble a little bit. But my pedal, like you are running away from me, my pedal. You tell me the thing is not set up, but I see you do podcasts with the Fairview guys. I listened to all of it, by the way. Very interesting. And the question, it made me know the Fairview guys a little different way. You know, when they came on my podcast, I asked them hard questions. But yeah, don't dodge me, man. We are doing this thing together. The OG is not supposed to dodge the underdog. Come on, man. Madass. I feel like I should have put my sign back here.
Oh my gosh. You gotta sound like who was the podcaster that got mad um that Marlon Wayans didn't want to come on his show, or they couldn't afford him to come on the show, and and so he decided he was gonna blast them, and he was like, I mean, I got a whole management team. Some people forget that too.
Yeah,
Like
you're not
that's the
talking
other
to the
thing,
main person.
right? But that's the other thing too. Like promoters, when you guys are trying to book us, and you're booking us because we're bringing the numbers with us.
Hello.
Keep in mind, especially when you're dealing with artists such as ourselves, we're spending money on our clothes. We're spending money to get our hair done, hair cut. We're practicing. Like the amount that we ask for to you, it may be like, "Ugh, why?" But guess what? You like what you saw and you came and you got that feeling you felt while I was singing, or you like what you saw on stage. There was money that I had to pay out
To come
to come out there and give you that feeling.
from the salon to Sephora to altar
Mm.
to the mark that they put to the highlight that come after that. You think that is cheap? It's not cheap, man. Think about how you dress to come there. The same way I dress to come there. But you feel like, and they will tell you you're gonna get exposure.
I hate that exposure. I hate that exposure comment.
Oh my
I
god.
don't like that because you know what I want to say to them when they say that? Well, then let everybody in for free because you're getting exposure.
Yeah.
They're getting to come and see what type of work you actually do, what they're going to get when they come to your events. So let everybody in for free. Oh,
Oh yeah.
I got
I
to pay the
can't do that.
bills.
What do I gotta pay? You think when I pay bills with food stamp, don't even get food stamps.
That's crazy. But I think again, there's lots of talent out here. People try to do little crazy stuff. Another entertainer that I enjoyed, I think she's a dope writer,
Mm.
and then I love her burlesque show is Madam Charisma.
I don't know who that is.
You know who Charisma
I
is.
don't know.
Madam Charisma, dopeness. And get well soon. See, he knows. See, I can tell you. See how
Sorry,
liars
sorry.
act.
My
See,
internet connection was off.
you see how liars
It
act.
went down. Sorry.
See who else I've seen that I was like, oh, I enjoy them singing. There's been a lot of artists that I enjoy watching perform. Like I said, I enjoyed watching the Fairview. I guess it was
The
mainly
goons,
the huh.
the goons,
Is that who that
the
was?
top goons. Yeah, the two light skinned ones.
No, no. There was when I got there, the ones uh so they went on before Anytime Entertainment.
Fairview. Are
Uh,
they younger?
yeah, the younger,
Okay.
the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
real skinny ones, and they had the
The
locks.
masks.
One of them had a mask, the other one had locks. They
Yeah,
came on
yeah.
just before Anytime.
Okay,
What was that
I
crew?
think I've seen them. Yeah, yeah, I've seen them. I don't know their name.
Oh, okay.
I
I
think I
enjoyed
have a
the
video
music.
of them. Yeah, I have a video of them, but I don't know them personally.
Yeah, but I enjoyed their tracks were
They had
great.
kind of a R&B track, the auto tunish.
No, they were hip hop tracks.
Yeah, hip hop. But you know, there's hip hop where clack 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 and the melody. Yeah,
Hmm.
the ones that are.
Well, I think I was told, but then I came to support my boy Heat. That's who I was actually there to
Actually, that's
support.
the one that got mad at me.
Oh,
Yeah, he got mad at me. He said I'm showing him fake love because I'm talking about the things. That's what the man. That's the him.
well, again, that's my
That's
boy.
why I didn't bust your bubble on that one.
He talks with intention too.
No, he
So
never. He
I don't know
never
why he
saw
was
me
mad.
no other. That's why I'm even surprised when
Mm,
I seen that. Because before now I don't add him there. Now he's out of my favorite battle rappers, man. For
so
this week, I don't know
so
next week.
you fall asleep with him.
Yeah, no, I actually support him.
Mm,
I actually when I was in fire music going, it was him and the Black and Sule and
hmm.
what's it called, Charles Dufresne.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
told Sule and them, yeah, I think you guys won, but that short guy with the energy, I like the guy energy. But from there, we be cool, Batman, Batman, Batman. But he felt like I'm kind of being fake towards him. But what he didn't know, I'm actually pushing him to do music
Hmm.
because they don't drop music. I'm like, make songs so I can promote them, but I'm still keeping your name in the thing. But I guess they don't understand that. And he wrote my name online and things, and I made a song in less than 2 hours. The song is sitting in the comment section. They look, they will see it. I wanna hear music. I wanna hear music. You cannot call yourself a rapper and not drop music.
Got you. Well, the last two songs I dropped, they're on all the music
Where can
platforms.
we find them and what's the names?
They're all on music. The all on the music platforms right now. Life don't get easier from MAD Music is out there. My song "I Found Love" is still out there. I released that one last year. I released a song called um, "Love Fall Down."
Hmm.
Um, it's on. I'm featured on it, but that one is with Groove Groov Music.
Hmm.
And you make my love come down. You make my rivers flow. Just before we both drown,
Still in
you
trouble.
leave me thirsting for more.
Thirsty for
So,
more. The tea is over. I'm thirsty for
but
more. Still singing. Here singing. Now from now on, you are a big artist. You bring your ass here and sit on the chair. You must sing before you leave here, so we can clarify if you are a good artist or you are wasting our time. So our legendary performer here, our legendary artist here, madams of madams, highest of the highest R&B. You see, my R&B artist is here. He's watching from his side. Destiny.
hey, well, I look
Destiny.
forward to hearing your
Yeah,
Destiny.
she have the image, the sound, everything. Stage, she jumped more than me. Sometimes I'm jumping, I see Destiny is jumping over there. You're like, oh man, very
Oh,
great energy. But I wanna say, I feel like just this one interview cannot cover everything, and you are like the second longest interview I've ever done. This 1 hour
hmm.
45
So you got to edit
minutes.
it.
It goes live the minute
Oh,
that
okay.
you can watch this on your way home. You
I'm
know,
not gonna watch it on my way home. You
I'm
know.
just saying, just in case. That's how fast I walk. When I hit tap, everything is there. It's there.
Thank you for having me on. I
No,
appreciate
I
it.
want to say that I know I joke a lot around a lot when I'm talking about this, but I want to say I appreciate you for coming on the stream, and I do want to have you here more to coach many more people. She said thank you. I do want to have you here to even like how you was talking about coaching certain things and helping other artists on certain things. And would you give her a future, man? Help us with a future, man.
Okay.
You and
And that's
Destiny.
another
Then
thing.
I will
I
shoot the
have
music video.
okay, but you know what? I was gonna say this too. I have offered to mentor other singers
Mm,
to help them even in their vocal sessions. Um, I've I've heard somebody with potential be like, "Hey, you have potential to do that. I will help you vocally,"
mm,
and folks get offended. Folks get offended, and so I started pulling back because
mm,
it's like, hey,
mm.
you
Well,
don't want to
we're not gonna get
get the
offended here.
notes, but yeah, I would love
You
to hear. Where could I hear Destiny's music?
as soon as possible. Everything is here. I played the music video. Yeah, they bust my bubble. They don't know madness do it. This is why when we say people like me, you know they know they dance with us. They cannot dance with us. Wait 1 second. I got some. I go right now. Give me a second. I'll show you right now. And guess what? We all gonna watch it together.
We're gonna
See,
watch it together live,
this
huh?
is gonna be the first time this happened here. Huh? The first time. Ah! The podcasters and me is not the same podcasters. They are talking, they are not talking like me. They're not moving like me. They are not moving like me. Let me tell you. I'll tell you this for free. Look at you. Okay. We are on the bottom, on the side. They don't know I have ability to do anything. Wait. We are showing this together. We all gonna watch it together. This is where people are taking off. Look at them. 2 days they are flying. Now I'm gonna feel more white people. More white people all the time.
Give me your most honest loving. I need more
not making sense, huh?
An empty promise. Give me your love, yeah.
I probably will select the audio for this because the light is late, so I can't watch
Yeah,
it.
it's delayed. Gotcha.
Hold on. They should be able to hear
Give me
it.
something. Give me something. Something honest.
You get that's her style. I wish I could.
You
I
have
don't
any
know.
of her live footage?
Hmm? Oh,
Live?
oh. Oh, I like.
Live.
Yeah. She has a lot of liking. She been on the R&B once a few times.
But you have live footage that I can watch on the video.
Yeah,
Live
yeah,
footage.
yeah, yeah. I'll show you after. Not
Right,
We,
can't
we
do it
have the
now because it's
legendary.
already cutting up.
Yeah. We have the legendary Don McClain here. We cannot be chopping things. Yeah, we cannot do that. Full respect. But yeah, I'll show you that. I want to say thank you very much
Thank you.
coming here for not feeling too big for the podcast to come support us. And when you do your podcast too, we will come support depending on us if you invite us. Because any
Hey,
podcast I
I'll invite you. Matter of fact, I can already say, hey, Sophia, let's invite
I
Starboy.
don't know if Sophia liked me from back then.
It was the way it was done, man. It was
Oh, you
done
remember?
backwards. Oh, yeah, I was co-hosting.
Oh.
It's a way to do things. Don't agree to do something, and then after you agree to do something, then say, now,
No,
what you're gonna pay me?
no. That one was because they messed up my name. I think that was Reggie's fault. But then again, I don't blame Reggie no more because now that I'm in a position that Reggie is in, I don't blame him fully.
It always happens that way. It happens that way. It happens that way when you be like, and then it kind of humbles you down. You be like, oh, this is harder than I
But what
thought.
I'm not doing is I will not just because you're my friend don't mean you will I will have oh yeah, friendship. Come on, come sit here. No, I refuse that. If you don't work, I'm not gonna have you here. You don't work, you're not gonna see. I don't care if we're from the same mother and father. It's not gonna happen. That was not how I was raised. I told myself I'm not gonna take this
I
with
like it.
no grade of biasness because that's what a problem I had with Reggie was and them. If I say I have that problem with them and I do the same thing, then that means I'm full of fuckery too.
Mm.
Yeah. Only, yeah. But thank you very much. We'll have you then again. I'm working on a versus artist. I want
Okay.
damn, it's kind of difficult to match anybody with that
I
McClain.
like your song. I'm gonna pull it up. It's stuck in my head already. The little bit that I got to hear before it started.
Also, you,
Slow
you
down.
you you like that song?
Yeah, I like your song, Destiny.
Okay, Destiny,
The
you
part
hear
I
that?
could hear.
I have Destiny, you have Melashe. It's a few of them that is hot over here. We're gonna make sure you hear them. I know you're being so nice to me. You don't want to tell me, Starboy, I gotta get the hell on out of
Oh
here.
yeah, I'm ready to go to bed.
But thank you very
Oh
much.
now.
And we're gonna end it here. And you guys, legendary that McClain. Don't play with her. Don't play with her. Don't play with her. Pay her money if you want to see her. You don't have no money.
Don't act like you forgot.
Don't
You
forget.
better pay me my money.
Yeah, pay the money.